Hi everyone. Ellarkum vanakkam, andariki namaskaram, ellargu namaskara. And welcome to the 5th episode of Alchemy Bodyworks Freedom Week and Womenpreneur in India, where we are interviewing a lot of amazing women who have started their own business and are doing extremely well in their field of expertise. And today we are going to be joined by someone who's this field of expertise is a very niche field that most of us haven't heard much of. We don't know what it involves. I myself had to do a lot of research on it and figure out so many amazing things that I didn't know. I will be interviewing Divya Murli, who is a founder and designer of Rajatamaya Jewels. So they are basically into designing silver jewelry, and they have also gotten into making gold jewelry po. And she's from Vellore, and she started off 4 years back in 2016. And since then, her business has been soaring. She's been doing so well. A lot of celebrities have been taking a lot of amazing jewelry from her. And if you just go visit her page, Rajatamaya, I think you will be awestruck because they have such amazing collection actually. A lot of women, will probably be interested. So please check it out, and without further ado, I'm going to call Divya, and I want to know so many things about jewelry designing. So let's get straight to her. So waiting for Divya to accept my request. So avanga vara varaikum I will keep taking some. Hello.
Hello, hi.
Hi Divya. Hi. Thank
How
you
are
so
you?
much for
Thank you
coming
so
to
much
this
for
live
having me.
interview.
Am I audible?
You're perfect.
Okay, great. All right.
Perfectly
Headphones la
audible.
I'm not in
Thank
there.
you so much for coming, and it really means a lot to us that you made it because I have started my own business very recently. ஒரு மாசம்
Yes.
ஆச்சு. And I know how difficult it is, even though we have two partners with us. And
Okay.
but you, on the other hand, you're doing this all by yourself.
All by
I
myself.
thought that was amazing. That's incredible. And பார்த்தேன் உங்க கலெக்ஷன் எல்லாமே பார்த்தேன். பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா இருக்கு. It's so unique,
Thank
it's so
you.
elegant, it's so classy.
Thank
I
you.
think
Thank you so much.
it just changes a person's personality the minute you kind of wear that jewelry. Brilliant work so far. And நான் என்னோட ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் கூட சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தேன் இந்த மாதிரி I'm going to be talking to Divya, who's the founder of Rajatamaya. They were immediately like, I love Rajatamaya, are you serious? I want to talk to her too அப்படிலாம் சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. So you are
So
our
sweet.
celebrity today.
Are you?
சொல்லுங்க Divya.
Thanks so much for having me.
No problem. I wanted to know, we'll get straight to the point. When
Yes,
did you
for
decide
sure.
to become a jewelry designer?
It was no big decision actually. So I've always been into this jewelry designing for myself from when I was probably 13 or 14 years old. So, those days we used to have the goldsmiths come home and take design and do it. We won't go to the big shops and buy because ஏமாத்துவாங்க proper all that stories, you know that. So they would prefer the goldsmith to come home and we used to give them the design to make. So அப்பத்துலேருந்து I used to do for the entire family, like take a bit from the
13
magazine.
வயசுலயே when you were
13. Yeah, 13. I still have those pieces. My mom is still using some of those gold pieces where I used to, he used to have a lot of these magazines of jewelry, this thing. So I used to, and give it to me and go. So all of that I'll take a bit from here, a bit from there, a bit from my own imagination and put them together and then tell him this is what I need and all of that stuff. So I used to do that for my sister, for me, for my mom and everybody. So since then I've been into this. I'm a big jewelry crazy person.
Crazy. 13 or 14 is such an young age to
Yeah.
start. வீட்ல யாராவது
I
பண்ணிருக்காங்களா?
no one. My mom is like far away from all of this. She doesn't like fashion, clothing, jewelry, nothing. She's like Utta, she'll be like wearing a salwar and sitting at home with nothing on her. Like she's like that. And my
So
sister is okay, but I was only one who's interested in fashion and what is happening, what is trending, what is all of that.
I'm guessing you're an artist as well. நல்லா வரைவீங்களா?
Not really, actually. I wanted to do it, so I started taking drawing classes and all of that stuff. But I draw. I won't say I'm horrible at it, but I'm not as good as, a professional designer would be. Like, I'm not that great. But I get my point across. Like, I'll say, this is what I need.
Yeah.
So
That
this
is
is what I
pretty
want.
evident
So,
in the kind of jewelry.
yeah. So it gets very difficult. So I get my point across. So that's how. So I started since then. Then I did for my wedding jewelry. I was sitting and designing my wedding jewelry, and I've always wanted to start a business in the fashion industry, either clothing or jewelry. I wasn't sure but once I did my wedding jewelry and everything, I got really into it. And then I was like, okay, let's do this. So then I actually started. Till date, I only do it out of passion. I don't do it for high profit margins or whatever. So I only do it because I really love doing it and I enjoy it. It's fun when you enjoy what you're doing.
So then, would you put jewelry designing under a craft or an art? How do you look at it?
I think it's an art. It has to come from, your imagination, what you want to bring across, what are you saying through your jewelry, what are you standing for basically is what I think jewelry is all about. Because there are multiple jewelry designers these days, and there are so many people who are doing jewelry selling online and all of that stuff. So how do you stand apart, and what makes you different? And what speaks to them through you is what I think my brand talks is like what I
how do
feel.
you create, how do you kind of, decide that you want to create a particular design?
So what I keep doing is I'm always online. I'm on Pinterest and this and that, and I keep looking at things. It's not like I look at something like, oh, I like it, I have to make it. It's not like that. So I keep pinning stuff. I keep taking stuff from some wedding magazines and all of that. And part of it will be half of in my dreams. I'll see some jewelry piece in my dream that end up actually making it the next day. So all of that, நிறைய நடந்தது அந்த மாதிரிலாம். Divine intervention level killa. But I know I've actually had those sudden epiphany in the night saying, oh my god, this will be awesome. And then the next day I'll be like scrambling for pictures and putting things together and all of that to make sure that the karigar understands what I have in my head, right? So that takes some time. So எதாவது பின் பண்ணிட்டே வருவேன், and then I keep looking at trends and what is out there, what are people liking. So initially in the beginning there was a lot of people loved silver jewelry, as in like what I'm wearing, like silver, oxidized silver jewelry, like they like that. And then the trend went to gold plated jewelry, but silver was still there, but then gold plated took precedence. And then now it's like more they want things with stone, they want statement pieces. It keeps changing with time. And how actually I think a lot of it is based on how celebrities dress up or what they are portraying. So a lot of people, they look at Instagram, it keeps on coming, like how Samantha styles or how Trisha styles, how Kirti Suresh is styling. So a lot of that speaks to people, and they get their ideas from there. So if you see them, they wear a lot of statement jewelry. They'll wear only one piece, but it'll be like a big nice statement piece. So from there, people are like slowly evolving. Designing is evolving because customers are evolving with their style preferences and their fashion goals and styling and how they want to wear it and everything else. So it keeps changing.
Yeah, but when you're inspired to design something, யூஸ்வலி வந்து நம்ம வேற ஒரு ஜுவல்லரிய பார்த்துட்டு ஓகே இதே மாதிரி இன்னும் வேற ஏதாவது பண்ணலாம் அந்த மாதிரி யோசிக்கிறது ஒரு விதம். ஆனா வந்து நம்மள சுத்தி இருக்கிற சில விஷயங்களை பார்த்து நம்ம இன்ஸ்பயர் ஆகும். ஒரு 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 காட்டுக்குள்ள போனா ஏதாவது ஒரு பார்த்து you see like a beautiful bird and you see its colors and you suddenly want to pick up inspiration from that and do. or இப்போ ஒரு படம் பண்ணும்போது கூட இன்னொரு படம் அந்த கதையை பேஸ் பண்ணி எழுதுறதை விட நம்மளை சுத்தி ஏதாவது நம்மளை வந்து ரொம்ப பாதிக்கிறது, நம்ம வந்து அவ்வளோ வந்து இட் கிரியேட்ஸ் an impression on us that we want to create something in our own field. So உங்களுக்கு வந்து அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது நடந்திருக்கா? உங்களுக்கு வந்து something that has emotionally probably touched you some point that you felt like okay this is the theme of the season now, I'm going to just work on anything. It could be like monsoon, it could be the summer collection appadinu sonna, like you could base the colors or the designs on flowers, something that is around us, right? So does that happen to you?
It has, like it happens actually every season, so it's not like in the because like I said, fashion and styling these days keep changing with season. Like every time like a Sabya releases his new line of clothing, people kind of change their whole thought process about how fashion and styling should do this time. So I actually I take a lot of inspiration from clothing designers onto how they are doing for that season, what have they chosen. Like all of my favorites like Sabya or Manish Malhotra and Raw Mango, you see each of them have different styles for each season. They go by that. So jewelry is pretty much something that complements your clothes. It's not so when a Raw Mango or a Sabya is going in this line of summer, I'm going to do floral, I'm going to do colorful pieces, and the Raw Mango will do yellow and oranges and stuff like that. So I kind of take inspiration from that to see what will complement those colors. So these are the colors in trend. So what is going to complement that?
You have made sales?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it has, because people, that's what I'm saying, right? People keep looking at those Instagram and they follow these designers and all of that stuff, and they kind of saying okay, this time in the mass on trend is yellow and orange, so whatever they buy, even if they don't buy from that designer, it kind of imprints in their mind that yellow, orange and like maybe fluorescent green is in trend right now. So whenever they see a clothing like that, they'll be more attracted to it, and then they kind of pair the jewelry to match that. So it's always like that. There are very few people who are like me, who will go to the jewelry first and then pick out their clothes. That's what I do. I first pick out my jewelry and then I'll match the clothes. That's what I do. There are very few. Actually, I have a few brides like that also, who actually did the entire jewelry set. She had it done fully from top to bottom, and then she went to Kanchipuram and got her sarees. So so there are people like that who are jewelry crazy. Then they'll go for jewelry first and then their clothing. அதை வாங்கிட்டு match பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்ட்டு. So a lot of people, but most people match it to their clothes. So I kind of take inspiration from the designers on how their summer trends or spring trends is going. What are they doing? And
okay, இப்போ வந்து jewelry designing பத்தி எங்களுக்கு எல்லாமே almost zero knowledge இருக்கு. Can you like quickly walk us through a step from the time you inception time, from the time you create the jewelry to that end product reaching the store? ஒரு இது சொல்றீங்களா?
Sure. So what happens first is we have to give the karigas the design with the measurements and everything. So what happens then? The goldsmiths, the silversmiths, the people who actually make, the people who make the pieces. So we have to give them a proper picture of what we want, including colors and everything, like stone, from what stone size to the measurements. I'm not sure about how everybody does it, but I'm very specific about how I want the sizing to be. So I kind of mark the size in inches.
You decide the size also.
I decide the size of what size I want it to be, and how big the stone should be, what are the beads, what are the sizes of the beads, like everything. I decide everything. So I mark and tell them each and everything with the colors and all of that. And then they procure the silver in block, like they'll get a full block of silver.
Okay.
Right? So while they're getting the silver, what happens is we put it through a CAD program. So AutoCAD program, what happens is we upload the picture on a CAD program, and we make the outline of the jewelry, and then set it as per the measurements and everything like that. So that what they'll do is, as per my measurements, they'll set the size and everything onto it, and then that will get casted as per that measurements. It will get casted on the metal itself.
Oh wow!
So the CAD will be like a proof read kind of thing for us to show that this is how it's going to be. Is it okay? So once we confirm that, yeah, it's going to be okay, this is the measurements. If there's any changes, they'll change the measurement, and then it gets casted. So after it gets casted in silver, that is kept aside, and then they have to cut the stones according to that size. So that's a separate time of like at least takes around 4-5 days to cut each stone to that size. Because if you give a design, for example, I'll just show you a piece. For example, this earring. So there's a big stones here, there's small white stone here, and there's a center stone. So each piece has to be measured, and each stone has to be cut to fit this measurement.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. So then after all of that stones have come, cut and ready and come, then we do, for example, if it is a kundan jewelry like this. So this kind of jhumkas are made with wax, just like in gold, right? So they have to set the stones in wax. So they have the basic, they'll have the basic casting. Like I said, they cast it in silver. They'll have the basic outline. Then they fill it with wax. And then the stones that are cut to these measurements are then set on it fully.
Oh, beautiful, yeah. Beautiful.
After they're completely set, everything is done, fully set, dried up, which takes about a day or two. Then they go for polishing. Then they get gold plated. After gold plating, we'll have to see finishing touches if everything is okay. Some stones come off. So when you're plating, it always happens that stones fall. So then we have to reset those stones and make sure that everything is okay. And then all of these hangings, the pearls or the beads or whatever we want, then happens. So and the screw and the clip and everything gets added in the last stages. Wow. So all of this is done at the end. So that's how long it takes. So the casting and everything itself takes about a week to 10 days for us to get the casted piece back. And then the cutting and then the setting and everything. So typically it takes at least around 20-25 days to make a piece, like a full-fledged proper piece with quality check and everything.
Make a set of earrings.
Yeah.
One pair of
set of earrings. Yeah.
That
is because of all the quality checks and everything. Almost the same time. Because see, the other thing is, if we give a lot of pieces together, that is also counted, because they'll cast it all together. There's a lot of cost involved, so we can't do one by one. So we give a lot of pieces together. So even if the jhumka is done in 2 days, a choker might not be ready. So that they have to cast and give. So overall, everything takes time. And when they're cutting, the process of cutting also, it's done by one piece at a time. So if, for example, in this jhumka alone, there are so many stones. So each stone has to be cut to this size precision. Which takes a lot of time to finish that. So one earring will take that, and then for the choker, and then for whatever else, like for example, a bangle or something like that. So every process takes time, and then in between, people go on leave, and then there's Sunday, and then all of that is there.
Wow.
So that is a process. So it takes a long time to get one piece from your imagination to how it comes out actually. Takes some time.
So I'm guessing this the relationship between the karigars and the designer has to be like solid. You might like, so they can suggest.
They can, obviously, because they see it firsthand, and they've seen a lot of other jewelry, like they worked with bigger designers before or something like that, right? So they'll say, they'll be like, no ma'am, this will be better, like don't use this pearl. They will give me the option, but they will also give me a suggestion saying, I think this will be better for hangings, don't use this would be better. That, and I take the suggestion as is, because sometimes it's just best to listen to them. They're looking at it firsthand. They'll have a better opinion about how it might look, because I'll only be looking at pictures or a video or something like that. when they're actually looking at it, they rarely change my whatever I want to do is mostly what they do. Unless specifically they're, when I myself am a little dilly-dallying about should I use green or should I use pearl or stuff like that, then I'll ask their opinion or what do you say? What do you think will look nice? So then they'll be like, this will be nice. So then, okay, fine, go ahead with that.
இப்போ வந்து
So, yeah.
So go ahead.
No, that's what I'm saying. So that process again, the hangings and all of that takes time. That is one person who does it, who has to come and do all of that. Yeah.
இப்போ வந்து சில்வர் ஜுவல்லரி மேக்கிங்க்கும் கோல்ட் ஜுவல்லரி மேக்கிங்க்கும் என்ன வித்தியாசம் and which is difficult or ரெண்டுத்துக்குமே ஒரே டைம் எடுக்குமா?
Actually ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் pretty much ஒரே time தான். But silver, I think silver is a softer metal than gold. So the casting process is a little more tricky. There are a lot of times when, during the casting it breaks. Because that process is a little more tricky with silver because it's a softer metal than gold. So that process is a little tricky. But otherwise, I think the timeline and everything would be pretty much the same because the people who make the gold jewelry only make the silver jewelry also. So handwork wise will be the same time. Only the casting process takes a little more time in silver than it does in gold.
Okay.
So is what I feel. Yeah.
So then இப்போ ரஜதமயானா என்ன சுத்தியே நிறைய பேருக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கு and I live in Bangalore. நீங்க வெள்ளூர்ல இருக்கீங்க and இவ்ளோ வந்து பாப்புலர் ஆயிருக்கீங்கன்னா அதுக்கு கண்டிப்பா வந்து உங்களோட யூனிக் டிசைன்ஸ் அதான் வந்து I think it stood out. So how different do you think your designs are from the rest of them? And do you see உங்களுக்கே தெரியுதா ஏன் என்னோட ஜுவல்லரி செலக்ட் பண்றாங்க அவங்களுக்கு வேற?
Because the thing I think the kind of clients I have are like that. My customers are very like who love classy pieces and they like one of a kind pieces. They don't want to buy something that somebody else has, something like that. All my customers, I feel, from day one have been like that. By God's grace, I've got a really good customer base who appreciate jewelry. Yes, who appreciate jewelry, who actually like seeing new designs and different things, and they don't want what everybody else has. They're okay to spend the extra few bucks, that's fine, but they want something that will be just theirs. So that is one thing which is, I think, has made me stand out because I have only one piece of each and that's it. I don't bulk stock. I don't have 10 pieces of the same design. No, that's it. So if I showed you this earring, if this gets sold, this is sold and that's it. I don't have any more of this. Yeah. So I don't do, but most people, what they do is they bulk stock, right? So they want to have volume. They want to have more pieces in their stock inventory. So they curate and they buy. So the problem is curating. You can when like for some silver jewelry, I do curate myself. It's not like everything I make because I don't have the time or the bandwidth or the energy to design each and everything. So because I need some kind of stock, and at the end of the day, yes, it's passion, but it's also a business that I have to keep afloat. I have to keep certain things going. I have to pay my suppliers and all of that, right?
Absolutely.
So there are few pieces that I curate myself, which is all mostly the silver oxidized pieces are all curated. So those are available in bulk. If you want to buy 2-3 pieces, they would be okay to buy. But I don't. I still buy 1 or 2 of here, 1, 2 there, and I put a combination of those two together and post something else. So it will not be what I bought from them will not be what I'm actually selling. It will be different. Adula kuda I try to be a little, I don't want to have the same thing that everybody has. Then I don't stand out otherwise because every other seller has the same piece. I will also have the same piece, and the end of the day it'll only be a price comparison. Like you are selling 20 rupees lesser than her. That's not what I want to be at.
Correct.
So as far as possible, I try to create.
உங்களை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் what is the toughest job of this business? உங்களுக்கு வந்து இதுதான் வந்து to break that kind of this thing was the toughest about your business. ஏதாவது ஒரு
explaining the jewelry to the karigars was the toughest part.
Oh yeah.
Actually, yeah, that is the tough. I mean, they do have a lot of experience and they do have their own opinions and own designs in mind, and they want to make something, and to get them to understand that this is what it is, this is what I want you to do, so please do this, to get them to finally accept that, okay, fine, I have to make something that she wants and not something that I want. So to get them there took some
So
time.
your
So that was
relationship with your karigars, they date back to, as in how long? Ipo?
all of them, I think a few, I think a year or two, but mostly all 4 years. When I started off what I had, I still work with them till
Lovely.
date. One
That's
or two
lovely.
people, because I've also evolved. So yeah.
இப்போ உங்க வெப்சைட்டை நான் செக் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கும்போது யூ ஹேவ் ஜுவல்லரிஸ் தட் ஆர் ரேஞ்சிங் ஃப்ரம் 5,000 டு ஆல்மோஸ்ட் 95,000 டு a lakh.
Yeah.
கரெக்டா?
Yeah. Yeah.
இப்போ நீங்க வந்து 5,000 10,000 அந்த ரேஞ்சில எல்லாம் இருக்கிறது ஓகே. பட் ஆனா ஒரு 1 lakhக்கு நீங்க ஒரு பீஸை வந்து கிரியேட் பண்றதுக்கு அது ஒரு பிளானிங் தேவை. ஸோ டு யூ டூ இட் ரைட் பிஃபோர் த வெட்டிங் சீசன், பிஃபோர் த ஃபெஸ்டிவல்ஸ்? பிகாஸ் நீங்க அதை சும்மா பண்ணி வச்சுட்டு அதை வாங்கலைன்னா அதோட ட்ரெண்ட் மாறிடும், அதுக்கப்புறம் உங்களுக்கு தான் அது வேஸ்ட் இல்லையா? So how do you plan your the higher range of jewelry?
Mostly during wedding seasons. All the higher ranges will come out in the during wedding seasons, like Jan, Feb, those 2 months, or July, August, and then November, December. These times are when the heavy, more expensive pieces that I'll be okay to invest on and keep it in. And for that matter, it'll also be, my heavy pieces will be traditional, timeless pieces. Like like it'll not run out of style. It won't stop trending. So if they look at it in July and want to buy it in November, it'll still be in trend, because some traditional pieces never go out of style. You'll want to keep them. You'll always like for example, an Adige like this, or a Rakodi design pendant. Adala will never go out of style. It'll always be in trend. So the only thing I do is I switch it up. Like I change a necklace, I change the beads, I change the earrings to match or something like that. Just switch it up a little bit. But most expensive pieces that I plan to make will be during the wedding season, and they will be traditional designs. They will not be offbeat, very trendy, cocktaily kind of pieces at all. Those I try to keep it at a lower range, so that people are still okay to buy that and use it for 2-3 times and then pass it on to someone else or something. Yeah.
Lovely. இது எல்லாத்தையுமே நீங்க தனியாவே மேனேஜ் பண்றீங்களா? Or do you have, I mean, you need somebody for marketing, and because you need your own time to design your jewelry.
Yeah, I have been so far. I've been managing all of it on my own. I do have a marketing team, digital marketing. I do have a team now recently, last 6 months maybe, who've been helping me with what we can do in terms of engagement and all of that stuff. But otherwise, it's been me. I have someone to help me with the packaging and shipment and all of that.
Lovely.
And of course, my courier partners are there. But otherwise, from posting to customer answering, mostly it is me. Unless there is somebody
எப்படி
else.
ரஜதமயாவோட ஒரு மார்க்கெட்டிங் எப்படி பிளான் பண்ணீங்க நீங்க? how do you market yourself out there? Is it word of mouth, or do you actively go out there and do some advertising, or how does this work?
No, actually from day one I've never done advertising. I've never even done promotions much. It was actually purely word of mouth from the beginning. Somehow I think by God's grace, it kind of clicked for me from the beginning. A lot of people, even the day I opened my page on Facebook, Insta was not much in either, so it was all Facebook. So the day I opened, somehow it kind of clicked, and I think the timing was also right. When I opened, it was like there were not too many people in the market for all this. There were still very few niche competitors who were there. So it was also easier for people to welcome a new brand and see, okay, what does she have? So it was a good timing, I think, for me at that time. Wow, but since then, most of it has always been word of mouth. We do exhibitions, so we do all of these pop-ups. We go and keep our stuff in Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore. We've done Coimbatore, all of these places. So again, that also is an exposure in terms of, if you look at it at marketing, that's a kind of good marketing. Yeah. But apart from that, nowhere else so far.
Yeah. But you live in Vellore.
Yes.
So but most எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு கல்யாணம் இதெல்லாமே வந்து people try and keep it in ஒரு மெட்ரோல ஒரு பெரிய சிட்டில சென்னை ஆட்டோ பெங்களூர் ஆட்டோ அந்த மாதிரி. So you think that kind of takes a hit for your business because you're staying in Vellore, so it requires a lot of shipping adu idu?
No, so we are basically an online business. So everything we do is online. So ellame we have to ship. Even if it is from here to a Coimbatore or a Chennai, I have to make a courier. Either. So what I do is if there are too many pieces or whatever that they order, I make multiple shipments and ship them separately. All of that we do. We waiver shipping for a few if there is a huge order. So but truthfully, most of my clientele is international as well. So all of it goes international.
Excellent.
Getting shipped international. So they live there. So it's shipping has not been an issue from here. My being in Vellore has not been an issue at all so far for me. It's not affected. I mean, I do travel to. I used to not during the pandemic. It's like I've not gone anywhere for the last 5-6 months. But otherwise, for pop-ups and for photo shoots and everything, we keep traveling. So Chennai is like 2 hours, 2.5 hours away. So
Lovely.
I used to travel at least once or twice a week to Chennai to for photo shoots or pop-ups or something like that.
So how do you plan do you have an office set up in your house?
Yes, I have a room where all my stuff, all the stock and the packaging and everything is there at home. So
essentially you work like Monday to Saturday அந்த மாதிரியா இல்ல எப்போ வேலை இருக்குதோ?
Monday to Sunday எப்போக்கோ யார் எப்போ queries என்ன question வராங்களோ அப்போ அவ்வளவுதான். There's no like specific timing and all for online. I try to keep a timing because I need some time for myself. But if people call, like international clients call during their daytime, which is our night time, and I still have to respond and talk to them. Otherwise, they'll kind of lose interest or whatever. So I'll have
correct. Yeah.
So sometimes it goes off. I don't want to lose a client. So if, whether they buy or not, I still don't want to lose a interested client. It's not about whether they buy. So that's there. So yeah, sometimes it goes on. Sometimes evening at 10 p.m. in the night, 11 p.m. in the night also, and messaging, answering questions and all of that. Some days, not every day, but some days. Yeah.
Amazing. You had some fear when you started off this business. I'm guessing the fear of you already making a jewelry and ஐயோ இது சேல் ஆகாம இருந்தா என்ன பண்றது அப்படின்னு ஏதாவது பயம் இருந்தா?
No, actually not.
நானே போட்டுக்கிறேன் அப்படின்னு ஏதாவது?
Exactly, that was the see, that is the thing with me, whatever I make something that I would wear. If it's not something that I will wear, I will not sell it. It's as simple as that. So whenever I make even those high budgeted ticket items, right, when I make them, I'll be like vithu polla na vechikren. So my family also nee ipdi yosichana adha first vithu pogum, and actually that only always happens. Whenever I say I'm going to keep it, that's the first thing that somebody will pick up and say they take it. So it always happens like that. So I always sell only what I'll wear. So at the end of the day, I've never had that fear. If it doesn't sell, it's okay. It's not a big deal.
Wow, amazing. So ipo na we've started our own range of pure and natural soaps and aroma candles and all that.
Yeah.
From one business moment to another, if you have to give me a secret kurippu, what is it?
Secret kurippu is just go with the flow. It's don't like overthink, or brood about, she's doing. I mean, competition is always be there. You should not worry about the competition and just do what you're doing. If you're doing something unique, people will come to you. That's it. If you're doing something different and if they like it, they will come to you irrespective of if there are 100 other people doing the same thing, they would still come to you. If they like what you're doing, like you basically, and they want to get your stuff, they will definitely come to you. So you just for me, it's like just go with the flow. Whatever happens, it's business. There will be dips, there will be ups. It will not always be an ongoing upward graph. It's going to be down and up at times. You just keep doing, and if it's something that you love doing, you will not even feel the pain of ayo idu nadakli, and it happens. It just goes on like that. So that's it. Just keep doing what you're doing. Go with the flow.
Passionate about
what you're doing. You love what you're doing, and put all your effort into it. That's it. Give it your 100%. And if after that, if it goes down slowly, that's just market trends and what happens in the world also affects
Absolutely.
businesses very
Absolutely.
drastically. So that's not something that you can't do anything about it. So there's no point stressing out or worrying about it at all. It's just like
Correct.
there'll also be a good day. That's all.
Thank you, Gurukale. With your humble blessings. Tell me your favorite fragrance, Divya. உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்ச ஒரு fragrance சொல்லுங்க. நாங்க உங்களுக்கு ஒரு கியூட்டான ஒரு ஹேம்பர் அனுப்பி விடுறோம்.
Oh, so sweet. Actually, I like anything fruity and flowery. Anything fruity is something I really like.
Fruity soap coming your way. Thank you so much for giving me your half an hour. It's really sweet talking to you.
Thank you so much for thinking of us.
Quickly, I'm guessing you're having one edavadhu vechirkingla to show your new collection, or do you want me to
I showed a few things now, just those earrings, and I had those variety of earrings and what are the different kinds of.
You just bring it a little closer to the camera. Okay.
See that?
Yep.
So these are like thick kundans, and these are white kundans.
Oh, beautiful.
Right, and
Absolutely
these
beautiful.
would be our lightweight gold pieces. This is how these are with rubies and uncut diamonds and all that.
Wow.
So these are our lightweight pieces in gold that we do. And apart from that, the silver like I'm wearing is proper silver Kemp jewelry. Is this?
Hey, beautiful designs.
So
I think you're really gifted, yeah. Nijamave ungalku I think you were born to be doing this. You're doing an amazing job at it. Thank you for inspiring a lot of us out there, to start off on our own.
Yes, women power.
Kandipa nama meet பண்ணுவோம். Hopefully we'll get to work.
Definitely we should do. Yes, we should definitely work together.
We will plan some shoot very soon.
Definitely, yes.
And
for sure. Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for thinking of me as part of a woman entrepreneur who's inspiring people. That itself is a big win, more than anything else.
Thanks, Divya. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.